Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're here sitting with my guest, Mr. Todd Bear, just talking real estate and what it is to follow your dreams. So as we was going into the commercial break, I wanted to come back and reiterate how it was when I ended up first starting and how the connection that I had with Todd at their meetings, understanding that the real estate investment clubs are phenomenal. They don't, some do sell boot camps and tapes and videos and books. Most of the clubs are non-sales clubs that we attend, and we basically do network and supporting. And we want people to be able to feel comfortable. One of the real reasons why my club is flourishing the way it is because it's a club geared to minorities, to give them a platform to showcase their talents as far as being able to deal with people that look like them, walk like them, and talk like them. Because when I first started, no disrespect, but all the clubs are white.
Pale, male, and stale is
exactly.
what we called it. Yeah.
And I felt like I didn't have the right content because I came through a different door than most everybody else had.
Yeah.
And I felt like I didn't have the right criteria. I didn't belong. Nobody would believe in me and yada, yada, yada. And then all of a sudden, you guys, we formed a relationship and we just got in it together and we just started buying stuff like crazy. And it just became a phenomenon. It's like, well, if I look back where I came from to where I am now, it's like, my God, I didn't know I could do this. And all you guys were giving me was the tools that I can utilize to become better than what I was. Didn't even know that I had this in me. So this is one of the reasons why I brought you on, not just because we're friends, but because of the relationship, and you gave me an opportunity to follow my dream.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because as you stated earlier, you wanted to get into the movies and whatnot, but I wanted to be an actor. And a lot of people didn't know that.
Yeah.
And my thing is that I felt like because I was dyslexic, and back in those days, they would have talent scouts out in the field, give you a script to read and not just freeze up. So that's why I went to sports. So then after sports came in and I just went and got a regular 9 to 5, and then I had children and all these other things came in. I just became a regular individual, but I knew that there was more in me. So what you guys gave with that club, even though you guys are no longer part of that club, you don't know how many lives you guys changed and people believing that they can become what they want to become because you guys took a gamble. Because I've always called you guys Lower and Hard. You was a comedy show because you guys' uniform with choices, it still is flip-flop, shorts, and T-shirts.
Yep.
So how did that come into play?
The flip-flops?
Yes.
Well, all right. So, for a little while there, before we started the club, we were trying to play the part of, at this time, we had Rehab Loan Group, the lending company. We were doing hard money loans. We were trying to look the part. So we actually wore, like button-up shirts and, suit jackets and all that kind of stuff. We actually were trying to look the part. We're like, we're moving into a new world now, guys. Like, me and Steve talking like, all right, we're moving into a new world. We need to start looking like, we're the CEOs of, a lending company. So we started dressing up a little bit. And, it just didn't fit us. It never did because Steve and I started doing investments together. We started doing flips. And, back in 2008, 2007, after the crash, there was tons of these bank-owned properties, these abandoned, homes that had nobody in them. They were completely empty. So to get into them, there weren't always lock boxes, or sometimes there was a lock box, but the key was stolen out of it or something. So, but we need to get into these houses because we got to figure out how much a rehab is going to cost inside these things. So sometimes we had to be jumping walls, breaking in through windows, all kinds of stuff to get into these things because, we wanted to buy them. So we just started wearing more comfortable clothes to get around, easier instead of trying to climb through a window in a suit, And plus, we're from Moreno Valley, and, Moreno Valley in the summertime gets to be 100+ degrees. So, we wanted to be comfortable. So we started wearing shorts, T-shirts, flip-flops, that sort of thing. And as time went on, we're doing the Rehab Loan Group thing, and we just sort of were like, let's just be ourselves. It's not working for us trying to be this other thing that we're not. So we just started dressing down a little bit, wearing our flip-flops and shorts and T-shirts, and, lo and behold, we started finding success. Because And a lot of people told us that they really liked coming to the club because they felt like we were genuine people. Like we weren't there to sell something, which we weren't. We had nothing to sell, because we were just frankly too lazy to put together a book series or an educational course of some kind, and the club for us just became a social club more than anything. And it was just a matter of getting a bunch of real estate investors in the room at the same time. And, how do you get a bunch of real estate investors in the room at the same time? You serve them alcohol and food. I mean, that's what you got to do. So, they showed up and they kept coming back. So we were doing something right, and the goal of the club was just to put new people with seasoned people so they could do deals together. And I don't know how many deals happened throughout the entire course of us having the club from 2014 to 2020, but I would imagine it's in the thousands of deals.
Exactly, because I was a major part of that, and my first meeting that I had in my club, you guys told me, okay, don't get disappointed because you guys only have 4 at your first meeting. And you said, don't get disappointed if a lot of people don't show up. And I end up having 33 people. And you guys like, oh, my God, really? And it just took off from there. And, all the other clubs like the Bill Tans of the world, the Christinas of the world, and all those different other people, it's a community of investors that are willing to help each other out and not stab you in the back. Now, you cannot verify everybody that comes to the meeting.
Of course.
Because people come and some people come to sabotage, some people don't and whatnot. But it's the content that you bring and it's the personalities that you have and the relationships that you build with those who want to continue to come back. Now, sometimes a lot of people come just to make sure that they know what they know, and they just go out there, and then when they screw up, they come back and get a refresh and stuff like that. So, I met a lot of interesting people that came to the meeting, like Andy Teasley's one. He was the first guy I took to lunch. Mm-hmm. Now he's got me out there doing barter trading and cryptocurrency, and I didn't know what the heck that stuff was, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It's something new, and he's brought it to the Inland Empire Club.
Yep.
And you got all these other different people. My first real estate deal was a wholesale deal, and it was kind of botched because the guy kept telling me I was going to get $5,000, and I got $2,500. I was a little peeved because I wasn't expecting to get a certain amount. It was just I had my first deal, but because he kept telling me that, then I got peeved. But then I said, this is not the last time I'm see that kind of money. And I kept pressing. I didn't get depressed and I didn't quit. Some people, they go through this and they get depressed and they quit. So how would you convince or how would you help somebody that gets to that point to not give up?
Somebody that would get into a deal. It's funny because I've met a lot of like new first-time wholesalers, right? I've bought I don't know how many homes from first-time wholesalers. You being one of them. But I wasn't that guy that stiffed you, by the way. Just in case anybody out there is thinking that was me, it wasn't. I know who it was, and I won't say his name. But no, and he didn't stiff you. It's just that there's a certain price we can pay,
right?
And I think that's the lesson you hadn't learned yet at that point is that there's a certain price an investor can pay. And if they have to pay more than that, it's no longer a deal.
Right.
Now you're sacrificing, and you're actually taking on a lot more risk. So, in his defense, it was a deal $2,500 cheaper than what you were hoping to sell it for.
Exactly.
So no, I know there's no beef between you and him because that was a lesson that you had to learn, and we've all had to learn it. I thought I was going to make $50,000 on a wholesale once. I thought I was going to. Until I got into the deal and the investor schooled me, and I ended up making about $1,200. So, I've been there too. And that's just a lesson you got to learn sometimes. So when you are in this business, it's just keep going, keep your head down, keep moving. And there's an old saying of you'll make money in 5 years in real estate. It just won't be your first 5 years.
Exactly.
Because it takes a while. It takes a while to get in there, but just keep showing up. 9/10 of this business is showing up. If you're always there, you're in. Like people are going to just see you and say, who's that guy that we always see is at every one of these club meetings? We were going to 16 clubs a month, and that was pretty much Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday of every week, just about. Of every single month, we were going to these different clubs. Like I said, L.A., Orange County, San Diego, and there's a couple in each one of these places you can go to. Pasadena, Glendale, even out to the Coachella Valley. We're going out to all these different places because that's where the investors are. So we're going to meet somebody. We're going to find a deal, something. Somebody's got money they want to invest. Somebody's got deals they need to get rid of. You just keep showing up, and eventually you just are recognized. People are like, he's everywhere. He's always at these things, and that's my biggest piece of advice. Just keep showing up.
Yeah, and you guys did recognize that, because when I was coming into you guys' club, I was acting like it was my club. I started just, hey, you going to remember me? Hey, why you sitting down? Hey, you need to come meet this person, and start introducing everybody, because that's what the communities are about.
Yep.
And that's the same thing I do at my club, is being able to give out the content. My thing is that I'm looking to see you get to your potential. You know what I'm saying? Because I realize, me doing it in my late 40s, and everybody else had more credentials than I did. I felt like a sore thumb. I stuck out. Mm-hmm. But as I kept pushing and pushing and pushing, I'm like, now I'm seasoned.
Yeah.
And it's like, it didn't take that long.
No.
Just long as I kept going, and meeting the various influential people in my life. Mick Blackwell, I love that guy.
Yeah.
He's done a lot for me. He's given me a lot, took me on his wing. You guys, Andy Teasley, Bill Tan, a lot of people, Bruce Norris, everybody, and that's what you need to do in these meetings, is that you need to stay within the confines of the community. You need to continue to show up, and you need to be able to take heed to what's going on, just networking. That's the key to life, is just networking, being around like-minded people. And that's one of the things that I appreciate with you and whatnot. So we're going to go to another level. Tell us about BPH.
So, yeah, back Porch Homes. That came just as a, it's a new idea that Stephen and I had come up with based upon what we were seeing in the market. There's this concept of an accessory dwelling unit. It used to be called a guest house. They changed the name on us. I don't know why. But
wait a minute, wasn't the grandmother mother-in-law house first?
Mother-in-law quarters, granny flat. You've heard all kinds of names for it, But yeah, they changed it to accessory dwelling unit. So ADUs. This is the hot word in real estate right now. So everybody was talking about the new coming legislation in ADUs in California, where it was going to become legal to basically put an ADU in your backyard if you had the space for it, and the cities couldn't do anything about it. The state of California said, we need more housing, and there's a lot of reasons why it's hard to build housing in California. A lot of it is environmental. There's a program called CEQA, which makes it really difficult to build. If anybody out there wants to look up CEQA, you can find out what I'm talking about. It's an abbreviation, CEQA. A lot of good stuff that makes it difficult to be a developer in California. So these ADUs allow you to put an extra unit in your backyard. And we thought, how cool would it be if we could build these in a factory and sell them, as accessory dwelling units, because we could build them quickly. The building permit process takes a lot less time when you're doing these factory-built homes to put them in your backyard. So we started out. Building tiny homes, which is a sub-classification of factory-built housing. It's pretty much anything under 400 square feet, and it's usually classified as an RV or a travel trailer. So they're built on a trailer chassis, and they are, they're sold like a car. You actually have an auto title on it. You get a license plate, but it's a house at the same time. So it's an interesting kind of concept. But the state of California didn't actually approve tiny homes to be accessory dwelling units. A few cities in the state have, but most cities would prefer that you put a HUD-certified home in your backyard as an ADU. And HUD-certified homes are 400 square feet or larger, and they're certified by HUD. We have an independent third-party inspection agency that takes care of that. So we're closing out our HUD certification right now. We're getting that going because the tiny homes, they're cool, but you can pretty much only put them into RV parks in certain cities that allow them as ADUs. So going back to the core of the business, we want to build ADUs because we want to increase housing density, and we want to allow people to buy homes. We want to actually fix the affordable housing problem in this state because I'm sure you've seen it. Real estate prices are astronomical right now. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, Todd, we get ready to go into another commercial break, and we'll come back and let you finish from there. Thank you.